What lies in front of you is a 2018 Honda Accord Sport 10,000 miles. Now, the Accord was originally introduced in 1976 as a compact car that took off tremendously, pretty much revitalizing the Honda brand itself. Now, this Accord in specific is the 10th generation, as there have been 10 generations of the Accord since its introduction in 1976, this being part of the 10th generation, which was remodeled in 2018, as this is the 2018 car itself. Now, this Accord in specific is equipped with a 2.0T 4-cylinder engine, which produces 252 horsepower underneath the hood, giving it a very nice pep and sporty vibe to the Accord. Now, despite the fresh new look and updated tech, the Accord sales have been declining for the past 6 years as the American market shifts more and more towards SUV with every passing year. In fact, over the past 20 years, the Accord's best sales was in 2001, 19 years ago, when it sold 414,000 models of the Accord, depleting to only 267,000 in 2019. While that's still a strong number, that is way over 100,000 less sales than it was 20 years ago, as it is evident people are looking to get SUVs instead of sedans. Nonetheless, in this video, I'll be taking you around the Accord Sport, showing off its characteristics and features, taking it for a drive, and seeing where it falls on the lemon list evaluation scale. Stay tuned. So one thing I want to point out on the exterior of the 2018 Accord Sport, this is the Honda remodeled the Accord for the 10th generation, and it looks very nice. You have this very sleek, sporty look. Honda did a very good job making the Accord look like a legitimate luxury sedan. It looks very nice. And one thing Honda did as well, the Accord looks much larger. It looks like a giant, full-size sedan. You can see, you have these massive rear doors. You can see if you open it up. These doors are the size of Delaware. The rear doors of this vehicle, honestly, the only other sedan that I've reviewed that has these same massive doors like this was a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, which is a huge sedan as it is itself. So just want to emphasize the size and the new styling of the Accord. So continuing with the exterior of the 2018 Honda Accord Sport, you can see here, you have these 5 or 6 running LED headlights in the front. You can see you have a very large light bar that runs all the way from the edge of the hood almost to the grille, and as you can see here, you have these 6 kind of almost crystal or diamond looking headlights, giving it a very flashy and elegant look to the front. Very cool headlight design. And one other exterior feature that I want to point out about the Accord, I love the hood lines on the hood of the vehicle, giving it a very sporty and muscular look. As you can see, the various hood lines on each side of the hood of the car. It also looks very nice, and it's almost formula red color to the exterior of the Accord, but just an overall very flashy and sporty look. And assessing the overall trunk space of the 2018 Accord Sport, as you can see, this is a full-size sedan. It is a very large sedan, and you have a plethora of trunk space in the rear in case you want to haul some large items. You can see there are two full-size camping chairs back here, or patio chairs. So as you can see, the Accord can clearly hold long and larger items. And if you want to fold down the rear seats in the Accord, as you can see, you can pull this latch right here and this one on the right. As you can see, it is a 60-40 split for the rear seats. Pull this lever to fold down the left side, and pull down the right lever to fold down that side to drop all the rear seats in the Accord. So moving to the interior of the 2018 Honda Accord Sport, as you can see on the left, you have a lot of your voice recognition settings and your other various settings, what we'll get into momentarily. On the right, you have more of your cruise control and driver settings. You have your lane keeping assist and your collision warnings right here. Moving to the gauge cluster, as you can see, you have 2 digital gauges right here. You have your speedometer and your tachometer. One other cool thing I love about Honda's gauges, I mentioned this in the 2019 Civic that I reviewed, I love how Honda uses kind of a bar readout to display your fuel and temperature gauges on the gauge cluster. A pretty cool design that I really like. And one other cool feature I want to point out, as you can see right here, as we have the rev range and the tachometer, if you move this little dial and hit the home button, you have a plethora of options. You can see as I scroll, you can see the screen changing. You have your tachometer, range and fuel, speed and time, audio, phone, pretty basic stuff. But then you get into some more cool stuff like a traffic sign, your driving support, your driver attention, maintenance, so then safety support and warnings. But driving support and traffic signs are pretty cool. Traffic signs tells you the speed limit and the other various options. If you click down it, it will display that for you. If you can see, we're not currently on a road, but if you did, you could see the traffic signs or the speed limits. And then your driving support and attention, all other various safety settings, but all very easy to use. And one other thing I want to point out too about this system, it is super quick. There's almost no lag whatsoever. Very high quality, almost like a luxury car, almost no lag like a BMW or an Audi. It's very responsive to your touch and easy to use. So props to Honda for that. One other interesting feature about the Accord Sport, as you can see when you're going through the various options instead of your tachometer, one of the options is your driver attention level. And if you click on it, it's an empty fuel bar with a cup of coffee, and it apparently monitors how sleepy you are or how attentive you are when you're behind the wheel of this. I don't know exactly how they measure how awake you are. It's kind of weird if you ask me. My best guess would be if you're swerving a lot in and out of lanes is my best guess, but it's kind of an odd feature to monitor your attentiveness behind the wheel of the Accord Sport. So moving to the center console and center stack of the 2018 Honda Accord Sport, as you can see, you have your screen up top, which I'll get to momentarily. Below the screen, you have your AC vents and your various airflow settings and features. One thing I want to point out, it is a very specific note, but this little section right here with the airflow vents and the AC controls looks nearly identical to the early 2010s BMW 5 Series. Looks almost identical. I'll put up a side picture to show the comparison, but it looks almost identical. It's just kind of cool to see that in a Honda, something that was also in a BMW, which cost over $50,000. Nonetheless, as you can see here, you have a little storage pouch right here with a 12-volt outlet to charge your phone, or if you want to close it also folds forward if you want to close it as well, or it retracts. Below this, you can see you have two very large cup holders. I have a large water bottle here, and it can fit very comfortably with plenty of room to wiggle. Besides that, as you can see, you have your Econ button, your sport mode, that is the Accord Sports. If you want to put into sport mode, you have that. Your various, your drive, or your gears, you have park, reverse, neutral, and drive, and then your two drive modes below that. You have an automatic parking brake. If you pull it up, it'll put the parking brake on, as you can see, which it is currently on. If you put it down, it will turn it off. And below the parking brake, you also have your brake hold button, which is becoming more and more popular in most cars. For those of you who don't know what a brake hold button is, say you're at a drive-through or a stoplight or a stop sign and you want to actually keep your foot on the brake hold will hold the brake for you and make it less of a pain to hold the brake down when you're driving. Pretty cool overall. So moving to the center screen of the 2018 Honda Accord Sport, as you can see here, the screen is extremely responsive to your touch. It is very quick. Honda did a very good job with their infotainment screen. As you can see here, it's adapted to your touch super quickly. As you can see, like a various thing like the trip range, you can see here you have your fuel range, your average fuel economy, and if you want to keep track of how long your trips are, you can do just that. Hit the back button and you're right back to that. This car does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so if you're looking for that, that is a very nice feature to have. And just have your various apps and all the generic features in the Honda Accord Sport. It is very quick and easy to use, a very nice system, right up to date with the high-end luxury cars, almost to the same exact speed and quality. So very nice job for Honda to include that in the Accord Sport. So as you can see here, we currently have the car in reverse, and as you can see, you have a very high quality backup camera in the Accord Sport. As you can see, this is the standard setting. As you move the wheel, you can see the orange lines indicating the path you're going to be taking, which is pretty nice. But beyond this, you have three different backup camera settings. This is your normal one. You have a wider one in case you're in a bit of a more open area. Or if you want to see if there's anything directly below you, you have one that's pointing directly at the road below you to see if there's anything in the road that you may want to avoid. So pretty nice versatility with a backup camera in the Accord Sport. And assessing the seat comfort and quality of the 2018 Honda Accord Sport, as you can see here, you have the dual both cloth and leather seats. You have your cloth seats in the middle for your leg and back support, and for the side you have a leather material. This is becoming more common in cars too, as my mom's 2019 Toyota Corolla hatchback has the same thing with the cloth middle and the leather sides. But as I said, this is a larger car. It's a larger sedan. It's got larger seats. Very comfortable. The cloth is a very high quality. It's very comfortable. Old Honda seats used to be very stiff, like the 2004 Accord that I reviewed. These are a much nicer upgrade, and the leather along the siding of the seat is a very nice quality as well to pad you comfortably if you're going on a long road trip. So moving to the rear of the 2018 Honda Accord Sport. One thing I really want to point out is you have a ton of legroom back here. As I said, this is a very large sedan. The Accord is technically still a mid-size sedan, but it feels like a full-size sedan. I am fully outstretched now. I'm about 5'10", and I have just an ample amount of legroom back here. Say you're going on a long road trip. If you have rear seat passengers of this car, they'll fit totally comfortably. The seat's pushed pretty far back as well. So just very nice. And then same as the front, the seat quality is very nice. You have the cloth on the bottom and the leather padding on the side. A very nice seat quality, comfortable. If you just want to cruise in the back seat, someone else is driving the Accord, you will feel more than comfortable in the back. So nice job on Honda. And from my perspective, in the back of the 2018 Accord Sport, as you can see, as I said, ton of legroom back here, about 5'10". Plenty of legroom for rear seat passengers. You can see in the storage pouch, you have a pretty deep divot right here in case you want to put coins, pens, whatever you want in the rear of the Accord Sport. One thing that is kind of interesting back here is while the driver's side rear passengers don't have a storage cubby or storage pouch in the back of their seat, the passenger side of the rear does have a storage pouch in the back of the seat. I don't know why this car has this. This is not the first car I've seen to have a rear storage pouch on one side but not the other. Nonetheless, so pretty overall simplistic back seat to the Accord Sport. So getting behind the wheel of the 2018 Honda Accord Sport, first thing I want to point out is, as I said, this is the third Accord that I reviewed. This one definitely has the largest feeling like atmosphere to it. This feels like a big car. This feels like a Chevy Impala, a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, a BMW 535i, like a large sedan. Personally, I like that feeling though. It gives you a very nice, like roomy feeling. It's very comfortable and just easy to operate. One thing too, this is a very smooth ride. I will say that right off the bat. I drove a 2004 Honda Accord and 2017 Honda Accord, and both of them, the ride wasn't rough in the other two, but this one definitely has a much smoother quality to it. It just feels like a higher quality and higher grade material opposed to the other two Accords, which is very nice. Honda did a very good job remodeling this vehicle. The leather wrap steering wheel feels very comfortable. It is a large steering wheel. It matches the feeling of the larger sedan very nicely, and it's just a nice high quality overall material. This car also feels lighter than the other two Accords that I've driven. As you know, as cars get more modern and technological, they have a very lighter and airy feel. They don't feel like a heavy car that you kind of gotta wrestle with to move. It is a very smooth riding car. The acceleration is very good. The 2.0T produces 252 horsepower, providing you with an ample amount of power. The 1.5 liter might be a little more, I don't want to say sluggish, but probably won't have as much pep as the 2.0T four-cylinder will under the hood of the Accord. So assessing the turning radius of the Accord, it's got a very good turning radius and overall just easy to maneuver. As I said, this is a little bit bigger than the previous Accords, and it is also much larger than a Civic, so it's going to be a little harder to maneuver in a tighter space just because it is a bit longer, but it won't necessarily be cumbersome or difficult to whip around and steer. As you can see, I'm making another turn right here, and it's just pretty easy to just kind of move in, into various turns, corners, whatever it may be. Alright, so we got the vehicle in sport mode now. One thing that's kind of cool, the gauge cluster turns like a bit of a reddish color instead of the classic Honda blue. Pretty cool in my opinion, but you know. One thing I will say, for sport mode, it does have a reasonable change, honestly. It's not as crazy as the 5 Series was, but it definitely kind of gives you a bit of a quicker feeling. It gives it a bit more acceleration. It's a little bit quicker off the start when you hit it in sport mode. Like I said, it's not a crazy change, but it's just that if you want to have a little bit more fun with your Accord, say you're going on a rush or you're late to work, something you want to put in sport mode, get a little more power out of your Accord, put it in sport mode, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's just a nice subtle change, but it's a pretty smooth ride, so even in sport mode. And the two other things I want to point out in the Accord, one thing that's kind of cool is that this is a long car. You have the hoods just goes way out. It's kind of cool. It's like you're almost driving a boat. You got a nice long view of the Accord going down the highway. Makes you feel kind of prestigious, in my opinion. Kind of a cool little touch. And just overall, a nice well-built car. It's a Honda. It'll last you a while. It's got plenty of power. So if you're looking for a nice daily driver with great reliability and overall build quality, the 10th generation Accord will provide you just that. So nicely done. It is now time for the interview section, in which I answer 5 generic questions one would ask when going to purchase a vehicle. Question number 1 of the interview section is, what is my favorite feature about the 2018 Honda Accord Sport? And that is the overall build material and the screen of the Accord. As I said, Honda did a great job in redesigning the Accord for the 10th generation. You have the super adaptive screen. You have a very nice high quality material with the steering wheel, the interior. You are getting a lot of good features in this car. So I'm very impressed with the overall high quality and economicalness of this car. Question number 2 of the interview section is, what is my least favorite feature about the 2018 Honda Accord Sport? And 2 little things that are a bit nitpicky. The one thing is, a lot of people want sunroofs in their cars. This Accord Sport does not have a sunroof, unfortunately. And the other thing that I point out in a lot of sedans is there is a lack of rear AC vents. If you're having rear passengers, a lot of them would probably want to be air conditioned on a hot day like it is now. It is currently 89 degrees according to the Accord. So for the rear seat passengers, maybe throw in some AC. But aside from that, there's not a lot to complain about in this car. Question number 3 of the interview section is, what is the most interesting or unique feature about the Accord Sport? That would be the variety of how you can change the tachometer. As I've said, or as you've seen me scroll through this screen, you have a plethora of options that is very adaptive. And it has unique features like the traffic sign mode, the driving support mode, and the driver attention mode. So a lot of cool features on the interior of the Accord Sport. It's pretty cool to play with and check out. Question number 4 of the interview section is the 2018 Honda Accord Sport worth its value? This might be the easiest yes I've ever said, honestly. You are getting a ton of features in this car. Like, this has a really good amount of features for such a low price tag. You also have Honda's great reliability. So honestly, you can't go wrong with the price of this car. It is very economical and affordable and worth the value. Question number 5, the interview section is, would I ever want or own the 2018 Honda Accord Sport? And that is a respectable no. While this is a very nice car and I had a really good time with this and was impressed by it, I personally would not want to own one. But if you are in the market for an affordable, practical car with a lot of features, the Accord Sport is a great option to consider. Now that we've evaluated the Honda Accord Sport's characteristics and features, time to see where it falls on the lemon list evaluation scale. Before I begin, I want to thank the Zander family for lending me their Accord Sport for the production of this video. Now on with the scoring. Starting with exterior, I think this is the best looking Accord to date. Sleek and modern with a sporty vibe, earning a 6 out of 10. Interior of the Accord is also strong, with a clean, simple design to match the sporty exterior, earning a respectable 6 out of 10. Road trip on the Accord is alright, as a cloth leather combination is reasonably comfortable for the most part, earning a solid 5 out of 10. MPG on the Accord is impressive given its larger size, having a combined estimated MPG of 32 miles per gallon, earning a 6 out of 10 on the MPG scale. Storage on the Accord is good for a sedan, having a maximum storage capacity of 16.7 cubic feet with all the seats folded down, earning a 6 out of 10 for storage. Character on the Accord is low. Well, this is one of the most common cars in the United States. I'll throw an extra point for its sleek design, earning a 3 out of 10 for character. Which on the Accord is impressive, as Honda does not leave much to ask for with the 10th generation Accord. This vehicle provides you with an abundance of high-tech amenities for slightly over $30,000, only leaving a sunroof and a few other features to be desired, earning an 8 out of 10 for wishlist. Handling on the Accord is fine as expected, so I was surprised at how agile it was given its large, lengthy appearance. However, the Accord handles like your average mid-size sedan, earning a 5 out of 10. Excitement for the Accord is poor, these are not thrilling by any extent, earning a 2 out of 10 for excitement. Stupidity in the Accord is good, as there aren't many abnormal flaws with this vehicle, earning an 8 out of 10 for stupidity. Pricing of the Accord is great, as you're getting an abundance of borderline luxury tech, coupled with Honda's noteworthy reliability and a sticker price in the low to mid-30s, earning a strong 9 out of 10 for price. Engine responsiveness on the Accord is fine as expected, as the 2.0T has reasonable pep, but won't blow you away, earning a 5 out of 10 for engine responsiveness. And overall amenities in the Accord Sport is impressive,
As previously stated, you're getting a wide array of high-tech features with high-quality build materials, making it feel much more accurate-like than a Honda. With the instantaneous touchscreen and a versatile gauge cluster, Honda demonstrates their ability to provide consumers with a high-quality vehicle at a reasonable price, earning an impressive 7 out of 10 for overall amenities. Add those together, get a grand total of 76 out of 130, divided by 13 categories is 5.85. Of the 3 Accords I've reviewed, the 10th generation Accord Sport is above and beyond the best of the 3. While neither the 9th nor the 8th generation Accords are bad, I feel like the 10th generation perfects the styling and offered features, giving the Accord a more prestigious feel than its older predecessors. In terms of the closest competitor I've reviewed this far, the Accord Sport falls only 2 points short of the 2019 Toyota Corolla hatchback, mainly due to the Corolla hatch's better fuel economy and more exciting sporty feel. More importantly, the Accord matches many luxury counterparts, such as the Infiniti QX80 and the older Mercedes-Benz C300 and Audi A4, as I honestly believe the Accord is better equipped than all 3 of them, which is really saying something for a Honda sedan. Thanks for watching.